Good morning from Southside, Paris. My name is Christine Kling and I am a pastor and a chaplain in a small town in the outskirts of Paris. It's hard to believe that it was only 2 months ago that I was in Scotland visiting churches and sharing news and perspective about a small church. We are now at the end of a first month of lockdown, and we know that this lockdown will last at least another month. And I would like to share with you some update and insight after this first month. Welcome to my home at Southside in the outskirts of Paris. It is a place where I have been staying for now 3 weeks. I'm not sure for how long more, as we don't know when will be the end of this lockdown. From the small balcony, we'll be able to see the roof of the church, that building where we were used to meet on the Sunday, and I locked down the door of a meeting room 1 month ago. Here it's the main room of my small flat. You might perhaps recognize the sofa. You were used to read the blog of the action team and potentially recognize this beast on the sofa. It's my dog Ayla. So action team left us 3 weeks ago. On this picture, I would like to show you. I hope you could see it. That was our last Sunday together. So they went into my home here, and we had a time of prayer and worship, and then we had a Sunday lunch together. That was a special time. It was a time of uncertainty and stress, and I was hoping they could return to the UK as soon as possible, as the situation here in Paris was becoming extremely difficult. And it was both with sadness and relief that 2 days later we had to say goodbye. As they were traveling back to the UK, I returned to Gif for my last prayer meeting at the care home. 2 days after their arrival, we discovered that 2 of the action team had the COVID-19. I was myself potentially infected, and my biggest fear and concern were not for myself, but for the elderly I had met 2 days before. I had to inform the care home and self-isolated myself. So I started this lockdown with quite a lot of stress. I was praying that none of the elderly might be ill. I had to monitor myself, but it was impossible to buy masks, to buy gloves and a thermometer in a pharmacy. But I had with me the first aid kit from the action team with some gloves and quite a very basic thermometer, to be honest, but it works time to time. So I experimented some headaches and pain in the chest, but after a few days I was better. In the same times, I had to organize the life of the church. We won't be able to meet in person for probably a couple of weeks. Obviously, I had to stop the English clubs and any form of evangelism. So thanks to some good advices from the Baptist Union of Great Britain, but also from colleagues in the UK, we decided to use Zoom. And Zoom is quite a good tool because It's very easy to use and it's very accessible. So we had to explain a little bit to the people how to use it, but I think now people start to be a little bit more comfortable with that. And so now a church looks like many other churches across the club on the Sunday. And you can see that was this last Sunday or last Sunday service. So in the church, the good news is that everyone is doing okay so far. No one has been unwell. And none of the elderly at the care home had been infected by the COVID-19. In a church, there's all sorts of situations. We have teachers very busy with remote teaching, busy parents with small children and working from home. We have students not quite sure of the future, people on unemployment, single people feeling really lonely, and elderly feeling more than ever very vulnerable. And we all experiment this lockdown differently. Some are very fearful to leave their flat or their house. Paris area is among the worst infected area in France. And you could see and you could feel in the supermarket a great sense of fear. For some other people, like probably me, staying at home is very frustrating. They would like to help, but so far we are under strict lockdown. For going out, we have to carry with us this paper. And on this paper we have to justify the reason for which we have to leave home. For some of us, the first week of the lockdown were a very stressing time to get everything organized. We are now in our 4th week of lockdown and we don't know when it will be over. We try to encourage each other. We try to encourage each other and to build some sort of routine. And prayer meetings and Sunday services are part of this routine. There is up and there is down. Some days feel completely empty and strange. There is no plan, there is no goal we can focus on. It is just about clinging on, being patient so the hospitals can deal with the amount of critical cases. The French government has been quite good to get things organized, social and financial support for the unemployed and the most vulnerable. They call also for volunteers. We know that is only the beginning of a very difficult crisis. Humanitarian and social crisis, economic crisis, and so on. For now, the main goal is to stay in good health, mentally, spiritually, and physically. When the lockdown will be over, there will be work. Work for helping people to grieve, to come over their fears, to meet again, but differently, with the new social distancing rules. Work to rebuild a society with many people with very few incomes. Until this day, we pray, we lament, we hope, and we believe that the light will overcome. Thanks for being with us, praying with us and for us in this time of fear and uncertainty. Thanks for your support and all the help you might be able to provide. God bless you all. May God protect us. Thank you.